Hello, people. My name is Mohini Dey, and you're watching my brand new talk show, What a Melophile Wants. Now, in our Indian society, we have three types of parents. One is the type where they want their kids to be very educated, basically brought up in a very strict environment. And second is the type that grooms their kids to be very stylish and chic. And the third type is the type who don't really care and lets their kids do whatever they want. Today, we have someone who is a bass player, composer, music producer, and has worked with some of the greatest, finest musicians all around the world, such as Louis Banks, Zakir Hussain, George Duke, Algero, Steve Smith, Daffer Yusuf, etc. So many more amazing musicians. I've been seeing him killing it on the bass for since I was 11 years old, and today it gives me so much joy to call my guest, who is my good friend and amazing player. Please welcome Sheldon De Silva.
I love the applause.
Yeah,
Lovely to meet you,
absolutely.
Mohini.
Yeah,
Lovely
yeah,
to
yeah.
see
Drama. We need drama. Now, speaking of parents earlier, how were your parents, and what was the kind of environment in your house that you were brought up in?
you. Oh, my parents, I think I'm very, very fortunate to have some super supportive parents, I mean, they, from day one, always supported music. They loved music themselves. And I actually learned to play the guitar from my father.
Oh,
He was
wow.
the first.
So we have some similarity, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And he was the guy who, I mean, really, really introduced me to music in many ways. He was the guy who brought a lot of great jazz music. He would influence me with a lot of amazing music. And he used to play guitar and sing, and he was a total rocker, I would tell you. I mean, it's amazing. And watching him play is how I got totally influenced, and I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to play as well.
How
And
old
he was
were
the
you then?
first. I must have been about maybe about 9 years old or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so around, touching 10, I started to learn the guitar from him. And then
Oh,
by after that, in a year's time, he was like, you should also learn the bass. It's an amazing instrument. And I was just like, okay, what is that,
yeah, I
So
mean, quite young. How would you know?
yeah, I did not know. But till he played a very cool bass line, and he played this bass line on the guitar itself. And I was like, okay, that is hip. And, that's how I got introduced to the bass. And I took it up a little later by around 12, when I was about 12 years old. And I mean, ever since then, just playing has been amazing with them because my mom also was very, very encouraging. She would always be really supportive. And they just had one motto, they were like, as long as you finish your education, then just do what you want. So
Sorry to cut you off there. So when you picked up the bass at the age of 12, like you said, did you already know, like by that time, you knew that, okay, this is my instrument, this is what I want to do?
not, no, not really, because I played guitar since I was 10, and
Right.
the bass came in when I was about 12 years old. Now, I was still playing guitar and bass together, until I was
Uh-huh.
about 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I never really thought about music as a career or as a profession,
Right.
anything like that. I just enjoyed playing music, and I was so
Right.
passionate about it that I just constantly wanted to play it.
Hmm.
And that's all my dad said. You don't worry. You enjoy, play as much music as you want, but just finish your education and then you can go and do what you want.
So you got
And
your degree and everything?
so yeah, I'm a science student. I'm a graphic
Wow.
designer by education,
Too
actually.
good.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I did all of that, and I played a lot of concerts actually while that was happening because I
Right.
think, I met Louis Banks when I was what 13,
Oh,
and I
so right
toured with.
after you picked up the bass, you were like,
Yeah,
out
I mean, I
there.
really like to get introduced
Yeah.
to him, and he was such an influence and mentor, actually.
Right, right,
And
absolutely.
I remember when I was about 14 years old, I did a little tour with Colonel Cousins as well.
Oh,
And yeah, so I got introduced to the scene rather early, and I was really fortunate, and I thank God for the path that he laid out. But
right.
more like coming back to the question, I thank him for such great parents that supported me all the way through, and they still do.
They know, they see the fire inside us. They know what you should do. And fortunate us that we picked the right, career or profession that we are in right now. In my case, I wanted to become a fashion designer. I
Oh,
didn't have
nice.
Yeah, I wanted to become a fashion designer all my life. Like right after my 12th board exams, I gave my 12th board exams and I applied for a fashion college. And I was like, I want to become a fashion designer. I'm not playing bass, you know.
My
Now, of course, the outside world don't know about that, but like inside the family, what's going on, they don't know. My father is like, no, 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 you're such a good bass player. You have the fire inside you. You have to do this. And he saw that inside me. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but I don't know if I want to do that for the rest of my life, right? And I got selected in that fashion college. And that was the time I got a job offered in A.R. Rahman's band. I was like,
oh,
oh, okay, now something's happening, maybe it's time to choose now.
yeah,
Maybe
it's a
God
big
is kind
decision.
of challenging. Yeah, like life changing and life challenging moment. I was like, okay, I think this is, and you only get one chance, that kind of chance in life. So it was a very big decision for me. And then I chose AR. And from that time, my life changed
Yeah.
totally.
So by the way,
Now,
my sister's actually a fashion designer,
oh,
and
wow,
yeah, so she's fantastic. But she lives
that's amazing.
in Australia, and I
That's
think you've also got the fashion sense has been there with you as well
Oh,
because you use a
absolutely.
lot of that.
I design my own clothes for
That's
my
great.
own gigs. Yeah, yeah. The
That's
one that I'm
awesome.
wearing right now is also made by me.
Wow.
So I'm still doing that on the side, but nobody really knows. I want one day, hopefully, I'll have like my own clothing line. Let's see. Hopefully. So Sheldon, like you said before, when I told you that did you know you wanted to become a bass player or not? Did you have any other goals or wish or dreams set for your life as a kid growing up?
My dad used to fly. My dad and mom both used to fly for Air India, and
Ah,
my mom retired when we were kids, of course, before I was born. And but my dad was flying still, and so I always wanted to be a pilot, actually. So I
wow,
loved
that's
airplanes, and I always thought, yeah, so I'll be a pilot. That's how I ended up taking up science, also.
ah,
So I thought
I
maybe,
see.
that would be
Yeah,
one of
right.
those
Great.
career paths.
Awesome. I mean, there is a ring to it. Sheldon DeSalva, the pilot. Could be.
I'm flying higher now, anyways.
Yeah. You're flying. You're flying on the base already. You don't need to fly as a pilot now. So this question that I'm going to ask you the next, it means different things for different people. I want to ask you, what is musicianship to you, and how much of it do you think we have that in our industry?
Musicianship for me is everything actually. Before even being a bass player, I make sure that I'm a musician because for me it's always been that. It's always been about hearing and seeing the bigger picture, and I love it. I love all the sounds in a band. I love the whole sound of an orchestra. So I love that whole spectrum of frequencies. So musicianship is one of those things where you have to put the bigger picture of music before yourself,
Right.
and that's a little difficult because when you play a particular instrument, sometimes it becomes all about you, or you want to showcase everything that you do, and that's understandable. But
Right.
just the fact it has its own department, and it's valid, it's perfectly fine, and it should be there as well. There's
Yeah.
always a spot and a spotlight for the artist to
Yeah.
showcase that. But
Yeah.
just having that whole carpet of music
Yeah.
beautifully laid out and having that whole story being told is the greater thing, is more
Absolutely.
important.
Yeah.
So if that story is being told and then you get that little spotlight to tell your own side of the story, then even better. And that's
And
something that
people
will
will
add.
want to work with you if you have musicianship on point. Like if you're not compatible enough, then nobody will want to work with you. That's when you
Yeah.
realize, oh, you don't have the musicianship skills.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it as just musicianship comes from the word music, so the thing is that you're eventually making music. So if you just keep that in mind,
Yeah,
it's actually quite easy and more exciting even for you to be working with people. You will also choose the right paths and the people that you want to
absolutely.
work with. And so I think that that is something. I mean, in our industry, I think maybe at times we could lack it simply because we're so in that age of programming or doing things on our own. Like right
Right.
now, everyone's in quarantine and we have no choice. So we're doing it on our own now because we have no choice.
Right.
But let's say once this is all done, if you're still doing that, then
Uh-huh.
you are not involving in uplifting a community, right? Uplifting other musicians and creating music or having their soul feelings also involved in your music, which is something that
Absolutely.
keeps your music alive for longer and gives it a lot more character.
Yeah, and
So
you as a person are actually seen through your music. So if your personality is not out there, then your music will not
yeah,
portray, it will not
it will
convey
not
the
go the
right
distance.
story.
I feel
Yeah,
like it doesn't go the distance, and
exactly.
having other great musicians play on your music as well adds that mileage, so and that you have to have that musicianship to also not make it about an ego trip
Yeah,
or anything like
there's a
that.
lot of understanding
Yeah,
between
and it's a
everybody.
lot more fun also, right, than
Lot
just
more.
playing on everything on your
Yeah,
own.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the biggest
Bedroom.
element and key to success in a band or just as playing, as musicians. Okay, how many years has it been for you professionally working in the industry?
Um, I stopped counting, but I think it might be around 24 years or something like that.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Um, do you believe that one has to be versatile to be musician? I mean, to be successful?
Uh, Now the first thing we have to figure out is the definition of success because for me it's very
Correct. It's a tricky question. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean for me success if you're talking about money, it's one thing. For me, success isn't necessarily that.
Yeah.
So success could
I
mean a
think
lot of
out there in our society, successful means just earning, financially being stable as
okay.
a musician,
So, so let's assume that's the
Yeah.
assumption for the success. And okay, so I think that yes, being versatile is definitely crucial because that way you are involved in a lot more projects and a lot more bands, and you can work with a lot more musicians that way, rather than just being tied down to one group or one style of music.
Yeah.
And as we have seen, especially in India, it's tough to make a living just doing one style of music. Now,
Because
Bollywood in
India is so
itself,
culturally diverse and we have different sides and different
yeah, we have
cultures
to.
of music. Yeah.
It's true, and as a musician, just like we spoke about musicianship, just the fact that I enjoy playing with different artists and different
Yeah.
types of music, it
Yeah.
just naturally came to be versatile. And being versatile like that included me playing in different bands and outfits, and so it became a little easier to survive in the music
Right.
scene.
Right.
Unless I just said, I want to play jazz, and that would have been really difficult,
And
to
if you want to become like a LA session artist, then you need to have that experience, of knowing and understanding what genre sounds like, each genre sounds like, because then you will be hired for a certain kind of music, and then you will need to know this and that.
yeah,
And on
yeah,
the other side, other successful meaning is, you say,
yeah. And I mean, that success
that's
is.
individual choice, right? Like it's just personal satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, it's soul satisfaction. Just the fact that you can sleep at night knowing you have added to the community, you have given back to society or given back to this world something that they'll remember forever.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
more
Nothing to
successful.
do with fame, nothing to do with recognition, exposure. It's
Not
just,
necessarily. Yeah, not
yeah.
necessarily. Sometimes you
Because,
can,
there is a misconception out there, people coming from different countries, different cities, young kids just starting to learn or just starting to step into the industry, and they always end up questioning that, how can one become successful? How do I play with a lot of people? So then again, like you said, successful means two things, right? In this case, in this scenario, it would mean just nothing to do with fame or recognition, but only your soul searching. What
yeah.
satisfies you? What do you want to tell as a story of yours own?
Correct, and that comes with maturity. Mohini, I mean, like
Absolutely.
you can. I wouldn't be expecting that out of a younger artist because it takes time, and sometimes you have to go and just burn out your fire first. Just enjoy playing, and even if that
Yeah.
drive is there to impress somebody, that's fine. That's part of the path. But eventually, with maturity,
And
you
by
start to
younger
realize.
musician, you don't mean the age, you mean the number of years worked in the
Yeah,
industry,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So,
Hmm.
just after that, I mean, playing a lot, and then you realize, like, okay, I mean, we have had enough of applause and we have had enough of ovations. Now we just want to make music that impacts people and
Correct.
they can take it home and live with it forever. And that's something I think just incredible because how many artists are there like that if you think about it, right?
Totally,
And
totally.
today we still celebrate Jaco Pastorius. Why? Because I mean he did that to us. He
Yeah,
gave us
yeah, yeah.
forever. So
Absolutely.
it's that way of looking at it, I guess.
Yeah. So true. Lovely answer. How do you think? How do you think you know this is it? Because sometimes what happens is I think this is great, you think that's great, but then the thought of how people, our audience, are going to take it pushes you back from feeling what you want to feel. So, what do you do in those kind of situations? How do you make that decision?
You mean like in a recording or something like that?
Yeah, say you're recording your own music
Correct.
and it sounds lovely to you, it sounds lovely to me, and sometimes the thought of, oh, how are people going to take it? Are they going to take it negatively? Does that bother you? Do you make decisions keeping in mind that this product is not going to be accepted positively by the audience, or do you just not care?
Honestly, I just don't care. Because I mean, how do you make music like that? I don't really understand because it's so difficult. People are from such diverse backgrounds. I mean, and no matter how hard you try, and no matter what you make, there's always going to be a certain percentage of people that just won't like what you're doing. And if you went after that, it's going to drive you crazy, or it's going to be a major mental block or an obstacle in you making music, because then you're going to constantly be thinking about these things. So if it was about my music, I just wouldn't care. I just would make the music that made me happy, that sounded great to me at that moment, and I just record that and I put it out, and I leave the rest to the universe and I leave the rest to God.
Is
That
it the same
people.
when you want to put out music online also? Because with having this social media, having the fact that we have this internet world which is so criticizing all the time,
Right.
there are trolls and everything going on. Sometimes the fact of having such a medium in our world today pushes you back in putting out our stuff, right? And
Yeah.
other side is, okay, sometimes I think that, okay, this is too simple, people are not going to like it, it's not going to get as much likes or views, so I have to do something that people be like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you can differentiate between doing something commercial, like for example, if you are looking to sell a product, you want to make money with something, or you want to make a certain impact, like coming from an advertising like background, that is a very different sort of module that you have to follow. So in that, there could be some things which are formula based, something that might work for the current time or age that you're putting out the product.
Right, right,
Now
right.
that has to be thought of, and you do something in that sense. But music is something that you want for me. I would think that I would want it to become timeless. So I don't want it to only work in today's day and age. I would like it to work 20 years down the line.
Yeah,
And for
correct, you
that
want
to
it to be
happen,
evergreen. Yeah.
yeah. So for that to happen, I have to make sure that I like it right now, because I will put the right emotions and feelings into my music right now,
Correct.
which will carry on forever. The
Perfect.
rest of the stuff might change because tomorrow we're going to see more virtuosic uh, players, and there's more things that are going to come in technologically, and
Absolutely.
it can just go crazy, and then eventually your music might just sound okay. It sounds dated, no matter how hard you try to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But what remains is always the heart and soul of the product. So that is something that
Totally.
you should never hold back from or create an obstacle. Let that flow.
Totally, totally.
And also another thing, because you brought that up, very interestingly, I would like to mention this, that it's like kids need to stop getting pressurized with this whole 1 minute video putting up on
I
Instagram
just
or
discussed this with Gino actually. He said the same
yeah,
thing. Like people get so affected and pressurized with the internet world also because they want to be
yeah, because
out there, accepted by every and each one of them out there. It's not possible.
and it becomes an addiction, and it becomes this very
They just want to
pressurized
do
thing.
music for the likes and views.
Yeah, exactly. And if they don't get it, then it's demoralizing. They go into a shell, and then you
Yeah.
know it's even worse. So just forget about everything. Don't and they don't even know what goes into sometimes a video. I mean, the person could be actually shooting it really well, mixing and mastering their tracks,
Yeah.
having a lot of things involved before they put it out. It might just be a 1 minute thing, but they get so pressurized with putting this.
Yeah.
video out, or watching these other artists put it out, and they feel like they can never be like that, and
Correct,
that is
correct.
demoralizing, and that doesn't
Yeah.
help you, move forward. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. So now talking about, since we spoke about writing music of your own, how would you describe the music that you typically write, create? By that I mean, do you set an approach first or vice versa?
Um, Actually, I don't set up any kind of approach because I feel like sometimes a melody comes to mind. Sometimes I feel some nice harmonies come to mind. So
Yeah.
I just lay down these harmonies and
And then you play it by ear.
yeah, and I play what feels like a melody on top. Sometimes
Yeah.
both come together. Sometimes actually it's even funny because a groove comes to mind, and you just
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah, totally.
just play this cool bass line and that's it. And
That's interesting because some people have different ways of writing music. Like sometimes what I do is, oh, I want to make a funk song, so I would like try and come up with like funky grooves, and the best one I will put it on my track,
right,
and then
right,
it builds. I write a melody, I
right.
write a bridge, and everything, chorus and everything, and that's one way of writing music. But like you said, the way you write, that's something that happens very spontaneously.
Yeah.
That is something happens when you're touring, probably on the tour bus, or
Yeah,
sometimes when you're
exactly.
showering in the bathtub. Happens. You know.
Don't tell people our secrets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm telling you, like I've made a song showering in the bathtub. It just came to my mind. I'm like, oh wow, lyrics are coming in, feeling sexy, gotta do this.
Oh God, and you've got a great music video also with it now.
Yeah, 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 totally. It's coming up. Watch out.
Yeah, but the way you've also written is also a fantastic way. It's just that I would probably approach it like that. Maybe if it was asked of me, if somebody says, no, I need to write a
Yeah,
song,
but
let's say.
setting an approach also consumes a lot of time of us, and we don't have that time at the moment since we're playing so many places at so many places. We don't have that time. It would be lovely if we have all the time to ourselves. Like now, we're like, okay, I want to make an R&B song, I want to make a pop song,
Yeah.
and I want to make a Hindustani classical song with a little blend of jazz. So now all these ideas are coming, and we have all the time. We can take our time and feel it our own way, not care about the world at all, because now is the time to think about yourself.
Yeah, actually, this is fantastic to be creative. That's why I was
Yeah,
just saying it's like
totally.
we needed
Totally.
this. Yeah.
Totally. Great. If you could change anything about the industry, what would it be? Dangerous question, huh?
Yeah, very dangerous question.
You don't
Like
have to answer if you don't
I'll
want
have
to.
to
It's
write
good.
like this 10 commandments.
Like,
Yeah, that's many things. But where do I start? I
I
don't
think
know.
people should start being a little more accepting and not criticizing all the time. That would be something I would change if I had the power to.
Yeah, that's there because I mean, see, critics are the ones that don't know what better to do. So
No, but there are
sometimes,
stupid criticisms also. No, that's the one I don't like. Stupidity is something that I hate.
you want to mention some names, Moy?
No, 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 no. Thank you very much. This is my talk show, Jalen.
I can
I
just
get
slip it
to
around
question
without
you, not
question.
me.
But if okay, so thinking about it, if I would want to change one thing, is that definitely the people with power. That means the maybe the director or the producer. And when I say producers, either music producer and the producer putting in the money.
Uh-huh.
If they start one demanding better quality, you know, and that involves more musicians coming in and recording music, we will see a fantastic change and we'll see an industry
Yeah,
that will grow
that's
better.
a great answer.
Yeah, versus already just doing how best we can just quickly deliver something. So the quantity that is
But you see, that's what we lack also, na, to answer the question. Not many musicians are that spontaneous. Not many musicians still, even
see,
today's time.
yeah, but if you give them opportunity, see the thing is that you have to create that environment. They don't have
People
that.
need time for that, and people don't have time for that. Movies in India are like made so fast. Thousands of movies happening in a year, and people don't have the time. Producer is like, I want this tomorrow, and now they don't have the time. They start programming, and keep putting it out with no time in hand.
Yeah,
But yeah, like you said, it would be great to have live musicians.
hasty decisions then are going to create a lack in quality, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they need to make it happen.
yeah,
They have the
make it
power.
happen. And they have the money, the power. We can do it. And if
Yeah,
you involve more musicians, I mean, I think it'll be a fantastic industry. Everyone will get work. The music will sound better also, right?
absolutely. Okay, we are towards our end of the questions now.
That
So
quick. Now I'm gonna flip the interview.
okay, this is a good one. Who do you want to play with in the future?
Oof. I've
You
always
know, it's
dreamt
like,
about.
oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always dreamt about being on stage with Sting. I think so.
Really? Wow, that I can see you do that. Yeah, totally.
Let's hope
Yeah.
he's in this interview.
Sure, why not? Um, any shows that you have done that you regret? You don't have to name the show, but have you done any that you
Yeah,
regret?
of course. So,
Oh God. And do you get nervous anymore?
not really. I don't get
No.
nervous, but sometimes I do have these, like you have this little butterflies in the stomach, which is kind of this, it's a nice feeling. It's like when you're on.
Nervousness. Nervousness.
No, no, but it's like a happy. It's not like a scared, but it's more like a happy maybe to work with a particular artist, or
Okay.
you know, you want it to be a perfect sometimes. You know that thought is there, and that creates a different feeling versus nervousness. Is I'm not nervous about being on stage in front of an audience, or anything,
Mhm.
but it's just that.
No, I don't mean being in front of the audience, not that type of nervousness, but I mean like you're, say for example, you're playing with somebody big on stage, and now you're very careful and very intricate about what you have to put out there on
Yes, yeah,
stage, you
of
know?
course, yeah, it
Yeah,
is possible.
that,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm
definitely
always
happens.
nervous, by the way. Always. Before, you should ask Gino actually. Before going on stage, he'll be the one who will be listening to me. I'll be like, Gino, I think I'm going to cry now. You'll be like, what, Mohini? You've been doing this for many years now. Why now? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it happens. It
But
still
it's a
happens to me.
good feeling because I mean, that means you're passionate and you're taking what you're doing seriously also, you know?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a good thing.
Because I want to give my 200%, you know? I don't want to mess it up at all. Like, I want to give perfect. I like perfect.
And that's what creates the nervousness.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to mess up that perfectness. Because I'm very perfect about everything, not just music, also. Like, even when it comes to my house, I want everything. I want that couch there. If anybody moves it to another place, I'll be so mad. I'll be like, no, it has to be there. Okay, so what are you doing in this quarantine time, and what did you do before to keep your flexibility in your fingers?
Um, I actually work out
Oh,
also.
you
Like, yeah, so the overall body just being warmed up is something that you need to do because we worry about our hands, but we don't think about the whole body. And the main the main part of your body that actually gets flexibility to any part of your body is your mind. So the thing is that training the mind all the time or keeping that active is something that I always look to do. So even if I'm not sitting with the instrument or I'm not practicing, my mind is always thinking of things that keep it active. So
right.
that is one of those things that I've always done, and I'm trying to continue even now.
But you
And
like
now
work out like at gym and all, huh? You do
not
proper
necessarily,
workouts.
just cardio, just body weight exercises. These things really help. Just keep yourself going. Your immune system up, your metabolism is up. So
Right.
it helps you a lot, and it helps you in your playing because it
Do you
loosens.
think it helps in your stamina as well?
Of course, totally, totally, because it helps every part of your body. So, and
I've
if
done
your
it.
mind
I
and your
did it
body are
like
coordinated,
I worked out like maybe max a week, and then I was like, this is not for me. I can't do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, as bass players, we also suffer from a bad back sometimes. We're
Oh, my
carrying
shoulders.
instrument, your shoulder. So these things used to bother me a lot, and I started doing some body weight exercises that really helped that first of all. So
Yeah.
maintaining my body helped me with the stamina to play for longer hours,
Wow, that's
maintain
good.
strength in my hands. So and then when you sit with the instrument and you do the regular exercises and practice regimes,
Right,
then it
right.
just works much better. I just feel like it, works much better.
I'm trying to think what I did for my stamina. I guess I just kept practicing for many many hours, because obviously workout was not for me. I just couldn't do it, because after my workout hours I could not play the bass. I had so much pain,
Mhm.
my hands would be so stiff and I would not feel flexible at all. Like I would feel like a bodybuilder,
That's why you
and
have to continue more than 1 week.
yeah, yeah. And
You do it
I'm
for
like,
at least a few
yeah,
months.
and when I play, I kind of look muscular. My shoulders are broad, and I have a little bit of muscles due to playing bass. So I'm like, I don't need to do workout, because if I start doing workout, I'll start looking like a man. Nobody will call me a girl anymore, you know. But yeah, I think playing on stage for many many hours also helped. It was kind of challenging, especially working with this recent Japanese band that I joined, called Bees. A lot of headbanging involved, a lot of like full choreography. I have to come in the center of the stage, go back, a lot of running involved, and I had never done that before. The fact that I didn't do it was, it kind of kicked me at the back. Like when I started doing it for 3 non-stop hours, after the show I'm dead. Like my shoulders, my neck, I need an ice pack. I have like people putting ice pack on my neck. They're taking off my heels. I'm on heels also now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very
That,
important.
that's the that's the good stuff about working with a Japanese pop band. Come on.
I know. Yeah, 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 totally. I enjoy it. But then after the show,
Yeah.
that's something I don't enjoy. So yeah. But I think it's great that you work out and it works for you. I wish it kind of worked for me. Then I would not feel the weight after the show.
And one thing that we're not really talking about is the main thing that is also really important to work out is your heart, because that is something that eventually,
Willpower.
with age, it might, it
Yeah,
it could
yeah. Yeah. Your
really
heart might just pop
deteriorate.
up.
So we just want to keep that pumping also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, this next question is an audience question. How did you and I meet, and how did you hear of me? When was the first time you heard of me?
I heard of you, I think, from your dad only, because I remember
Really?
meeting him. Yeah, because I remember meeting him and he spoke a lot about you. And
Ah,
I said, wow, no, I have to meet her. And I think I met you at the first time, maybe at Blue Frog. Was it Blue Frog?
I think when I was playing with Ranjit uncle and I saw you in the audience.
Yeah, possibly,
If you
because,
see, I was probably like 15, I think, that time.
yeah, possibly. It was really lovely meeting you. And I think your sister was also there, and she's also
Was
really
she?
sweet. Yeah, I think
Really?
she was also, I think your whole family had come to watch the gig. And,
Those were the times when families used to attend my shows, but
oh, really,
not
they
anymore.
stopped?
Not anymore. It's like बहुत हो गया अभी नहीं चाहिए बस
Oh
हो
god. Now
गया.
they're watching all your videos now. No, what to
Yeah,
do?
enough. बहुत हो गया. Now stop. There was a time when you used to like practice, practice, practice. Now it's like stop, please. We
Oh
need
god.
time to talk to you now.
Yeah.
Okay, that was great. It was lovely catching up with you. It's been such a long time since we actually spoke to each other also.
Yeah, I know. It's funny
Yeah.
how that happens, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but that's good. You're busy, so it's good. It's a good
Look who's talking. Okay, this rapid fire is going to be fun. I am looking forward to this.
Okay.
First question, quick, huh? What is the
I
worst
have a
compliment
buzzer.
you? I wish, yeah. That for that we need to be closer, in
Yeah.
person, practically.
Okay.
Yeah. What is the worst compliment you've ever got?
Worst compliment. Uh, I like your hair.
I was just gonna say, oh my god, shit. I was gonna say that
I
somebody
mean,
said your hair is bad, but it was about the hair only.
yeah. There's no. It's not a bad compliment, but sometimes when you get off stage and you played a really killing
Yeah,
gig,
like you worked
and
your ass off and you
yeah,
delivered this amazing show, and all they speak about is the
yeah. It's
hair.
only excusable if it came from a woman, so that's the only thing I can say. But
That's
if a guy
rewarding.
came
When it
up,
comes
sir,
from
I
a
love
woman,
your
it's
hair.
rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes from a guy, you're like, what, man? Describe yourself in 4 words.
Forward. Okay, I am spiritual. I'm a foodie. I'm loving and family oriented.
Oh, really?
And
Oh,
sex-
yeah. Loving, family oriented, lovable, or loving only, Sheldon.
sexy.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, bass players are, come on, man. Bass players are the sexiest.
Totally, totally. Okay. Now this question can be a little dangerous also. but again picked out. This has been like commented on your videos so many times. Sheldon, are you single?
Am I single?
Yeah.
So that will be the mystery that will be continued.
Tell us something personal about you that the whole world don't know.
I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Same.
Yeah.
Crazy. So we have two similarities now, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have more conversations like this. We'll find a
Yeah, we
lot.
should hang out more. I'm telling you. Yeah, we'll find out some cool, interesting stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than playing bass, what are you good at?
Like I said, I was a graphic designer, so I guess I love art and I love painting and I love doing stuff with that which is creative in that world.
That's
So I'm good with
amazing.
that. Yeah.
That's great. Last question. What annoys you the most?
What annoys me the most would be probably like negativity or inefficiency and
Hmm.
probably corruption, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Very nice. Well, it was lovely talking to you, Sheldon. Thank you so much for coming on my show. Thank
my
you for
pleasure.
coming on board. It was great. I'm sure people are going to love it. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to have more hangs like this.
Yeah, we have to. Next we'll be
Yes.
trying to play some bass with you, which I'll try to keep up, what to say.
What rubbish. Good to see.
No, but it'll
Chalo.
be fun.
Thank
It
you
was
so
lovely.
much again,
Thank
once again.